Greetings everyone, welcome back to the channel. I trust that you're all doing well on this fine Sunday. And if you're watching on a Monday, well, happy Monday to you. Anyhow, in this video we're going to go over the price action of Theta and do a little bit of a price update from the last analysis. If you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe and tick that bell. Let's get into the video. And here we have Theta up on the daily chart in trading view, and Theta having a nice day today. Nice green candle coming in here, getting up over the $8 mark, at least at the time of recording, and we see that Theta's up 7% on the day. Trading day still has 6 hours and 48 minutes remaining, so it remains to be seen how this daily candle body will close. But at the time of recording, it is coming in and testing that white 200 simple moving average, and even reaching for the 0.382, the Fibonacci retracement. And for those that follow along with my TA, you know that that's my first significant area of interest to the upside. I'm looking for a daily candle body to come in and eventually close above that level. Perhaps that happens today, tomorrow. I don't usually get too concerned about timelines. I'm a very patient trader as well as investor, and I don't usually put a timeline on things. I just look for certain conditions, and these conditions show me that, hey, probability is shifting here to this direction or that direction. And as you well know, I always have a condition to the downside as well. And in the last video, my condition for the downside was actually down here at the 0.236, coming in around $6.45. And I was saying that if a daily candle body got down to that level and started closing below that level, that would likely be a signal that more downside is likely coming. And as you can see, price action got right down to that level, wicked off it here, and even if I just get rid of that green circle, you can see even a third touch right here, and then sprung off of that area. And again, we were able to identify that level before price action got down. There's a condition, and that's why. I mean, it was a clear, obvious level of support. As you can see, some wicks getting up in here. See plenty of wicks here. You see wicks wicking down below. But take note how in this area here, there was no candle body closures below that level. But then when the candle body closed here below that 200, then the wicks begin to the upside here, but no candle body closures, and then rolls over. You see the wicks right here as well. And then you see that clean, decisive breakthrough right here coming in on the good volume. So it's reasonable to begin to look at this area as likely level support. You see that coming in right here. This candle body did close just slightly below it, but then boom, price action gets popped to the upside, and then nothing but wicks ever since. So it was a very reasonable area to be paying attention to, that, hey, you know, if we do get a candle body closure down below that level, that could be a pretty valid signal that the bulls have ran out of steam on this, and that the bears are ready to step back in and push it to the downside. But of course, we didn't get that daily candle body closure below that level. So for anyone that was holding long since down here, then that was what has kept you in this trade or in your reaccumulation if you're looking at Theta through the lens of investor over the long term. Now what we see is that the moving averages are coiling in upon each other right here, and they're looking to expand once again and begin to fan out. And I do like how price action for me, always king, is looking to move to the upside here. So we get some bullish posturing on these moving averages, and we could see Theta get some nice moves to the upside and hopefully join the party, as it certainly has been a bit of a laggard since this nasty downtrend right here. But it is starting to look better and better as each day passes here. So first and foremost, looking for that closure above the 0.382, the Fibonacci retracement to the upside, coming in around that $8.25 mark. And as you can see, if it closes up above there, it'll be making a fairly significant close above the 200 once again. Looking left, we do see that price action does get up to that 200, wicking off of it here, getting some closures even before coughing back up. So it'd be nice to see a candle body close well up above here. Maybe some volume comes in with that, and taking out this 0.382. As you can see, fairly significant change of behavior. And then I would say over time that Theta is likely to come up here and start testing this 0.5 once again. And that is coming in around the $9.50 mark. Over time, if you start seeing daily candle bodies begin to close above that level there, so between $9.50 and $10, then likely I would say at that point in time the bottom would be in. And if the rest of the market continues in its upward trajectory, I mean, if Bitcoin blasts off to the upside, which I think is looking somewhat probable at this point in time, then likely Theta did stick in its bottom right down here. However, keep in mind that we're still in lower high territory in the overall macro downtrend of this. I mean, you see a whole series of lower lows and lower highs, in all fairness to the price action here. And if Theta did roll for some reason from this from this area, it is still a lower high since this macro lower high over here. So that's why we do want to see this area first, which is acting as pretty staunch resistance. It's why we want to see this area get taken out first on closing basis. We don't want to see these wicks getting up above there, getting excited about the price action only to have it stuffed in our face to the downside. But that is why I watch that area here, because what we're looking at here at the end of the day is the behavior between the buyers and sellers and simply how they're voting with their wallets. We get the candle body closures up here versus these wicks, and that is a pretty strong sign that the sellers are no longer interested in selling the 0 spot 382, whether that's Binance selling it or validator nodes unloading their Theta. I mean, whatever the rhyme or reason for it is, whoever's doing that is certainly watching that area. We can see them in the chart right here, and they leave a footprint on this thing, and that's why we watch these areas very closely. So first and foremost, let's look for that daily candle body closure up above that 0 spot 382, getting that over time in the midterm, likely test of this area here, getting closures above that. And I'm going to be watching the 0 spot 618 of the Fibonacci retracement, which is taken from wick high down to this wick right here. And that is the 618 is coming in around $11.16. So $11 is probably fair enough. Let's check out some of the momentum down below. Momentum is beginning to look good. We do see a few tests of the bullish control zone right here. And price action did fall down below the exponential, and we were looking at that in the last analysis. And just overall, the RSI is just living in the neutral zone as the bulls and bears battle this out. But now we see the bulls making another solid attempt right now. We're seeing the EMA getting a nice positive slope here. And it looks like we may see a test that bullish control zone very soon. And wouldn't it be nice to see that RSI get into the bullish control zone for the first time in a while as price action takes out some of these significant areas? And that's what I look for. It's confluence. For me, price structure is always king. So I look for the trend, and then I look for the momentum to kind of back it up for some confluence to say, hey man, this is a nice read as price action takes up very key areas. And that's when things begin to look really good. We can see that the stochastics, another momentum indicator here, they're very much crossed the upside, getting out of the bearish control zone down below, bottoming in here, getting out, and they're still in the neutral zone now. And they'll be reaching for the bullish control zone soon. So we have a couple momentum oscillators rhyming with each other right now. MACD firing off a bullish cross right here as the moving averages live above the 0 read of the y-axis. And we're getting a positive bar of momentum here on the histogram as well. Now again, I never blindly trade or invest upon an indicator. I don't know too many successful traders or investors that do that. However, when you see a bullish cross on the MACD, as price action begins to close above key areas, that is a nice piece of confluence to look for. I don't just look for a random cross and then random price action, but as price action tries to close above the 200 simple moving average, and even better would be that 0 spot 382, that is a fairly good look. And as you can see, all three of these momentum oscillators are rhyming with one another. We have some volatility down below. It is literally on the floor. And I view this kind of like a gas tank. It doesn't give you direction of price. So I usually look for trend when it comes to that. But usually when you get this is squashed. When you get to a 0 read on the daily, and even better when you get this moving average getting really low as well. And right now it's coming in like anything below 10, as far as I'm concerned, in volatility is a very low read. And this is like a gas tank. And you kind of look at this from an inverse perspective. So when the volatility gets down to a 0 read like this, that means the gas tank is full. So when price structure makes a decision here, and right now it's hinting, it's saying maybe we want upside here. That's just what we're seeing here right now. And with the gas tank being on full, the 0 read is full, meaning that if volatility begins to expand here above that moving average, as well as getting back up into these higher reads here, alongside of the rest of the momentum here and the price structure, well, that's signaling that Theta might be getting ready to undo this downtrend. Of course, we want to see price action confirm that. We don't want to just go off hopium alone. But when you start seeing a read like this, it looks good. And so long as Bitcoin doesn't begin to just dump to the downside or the rest of the market or FUD come flying in or black swan kind of stuff, then I would say from a price action perspective, Theta's looking like it might be ready to join the party soon and could start putting in some nice big green days. So let's pay attention to that. Now, obviously, I'm a little biased to the upside right now because Theta is working its way into some of these key areas right now. The momentum's looking good. The overall posturing of the market as a whole is looking good. Even Bitcoin's looking good as it grinds out the $50,000 mark. So I do have a bias to the upside. But let's look for those bias busters to the downside because, again, not a crystal ball, just a statistical advantage over the market. And for me, although I do set targets most certainly, and I look for like key algo targets such as Fibonacci levels and things like that, what's even more important about TA for me is the ability to make a plan and to be on the right side of probability and to be able to pivot my bias when new data presents itself. I mean, I have a responsibility to my capital that I have to be able to remove my ego and go, hey, where am I potentially wrong on this analysis? So although I'm looking for upside here, I would say that if Theta does, reject from here and roll back to the downside and get back down around these levels here, around that 0.236, which is coming in at around that $6.50 mark, and begin to close those candles. So close, not these wicks, but getting that daily candle body closure below there, then likely it's going to revisit this liquid zone down below here, which has the top side coming in around the $4 mark and the bottom side coming in around $3.50. Anyways, this video is getting a little bit on the long side there, so I'm going to leave you with that. Things are certainly looking good. Let's look for at least a closure above this 200 simple moving average here. Even better, 0.382, and that's going to be signaling likely more upside at that point in time. Anyway, thanks so much for coming by and checking out this video. Looking forward to seeing the next one, and until I do, have yourself a powerful day.